Oh, I can just mute the tab.
Hey, we're here.
I did my victory thing when we went live. I'm sorry. Hi.
We're here, except I'm trying to watch the YouTube and it's not.
I know. I know.
We're not live on the YouTube yet. I hope we're live. Hello?
I'll refresh.
It says we're live.
We're there.
Okay.
Cool.
Hang on. Hi, everyone. We are still not live on my.
We are live.
Oh, there we go. Hi, everyone. Oh, there's cats again. Sorry in advance for the cats. Unless you really like cats, and then it's cute. We're back. We are back. The cat is here. Wow. Okay.
Professional. That was our goal, right?
In true typical From the Stands fashion, we are just a big mess already. We're out of practice a little bit, so be kind, please rewind, and all that jazz.
That's for us olds.
Yeah.
But thanks for joining us. I'm Courtney, in case you forgot. That's Jen. Go to Danielle. Say hi to the people.
I'm Danielle.
And Karen. Lovely. Excellent. So we're contending with cats today, so apologies if we're just swatting cats everywhere because they're just all over the place, because why not? We're very laggy on this too. Well, we're very laggy only because I'm trying to watch it, and I should probably stop doing that. Just know that if you have asked any questions,
I got
watching
you.
the chat. Yeah, Danielle might be able to catch quicker. Hey, Star Killer and Guitar Skate Live. Hello, hello, hello. We are back. We're gonna try to cover as much as we can because we know we're a little bit behind with the season, and that's okay. So we're just gonna get right to it. Actually, we'll let Jen go real quick because she wants to talk about something that happened in the off season, right before the season started. We have a couple of people gone. We have a couple of ACLs, which we'll get to. But first and foremost, I just want to talk a little bit about Joe Lohman, who is been a fan favorite in the league and did announce that she is retiring, basically effectively now. So go for it, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of.
Well, I just thought you wanted to talk about it. Okay, great.
So yeah, Joe retired. Y'all know that Joe's been my favorite too. I think she brought a lot, not just to the Spirit, but also to the league, and the previous leagues that she was involved in, and she's definitely gonna be missed. She will still be involved in women's soccer and with the Washington Spirit in a non-player capacity, which is great. She just started her own Define Your Beauty course, which is fabulous. If you haven't checked it out, I highly recommend doing so. But yeah, we'll miss you, Joe. Thank you for everything that you did on and off the field as a player, and I'm excited to see what she does moving forward.
All right. Yeah. Did anyone else want to have anything to say about that? Comment, anything like that? I know Jen was really the Spirit person here, so I don't know why I let her take that. But if anyone else got anything else?
Well, not about Joe specifically, but if we're talking about the off season, we can kind of go into what Star Killer just asked. And Star Killer asked what our thoughts were about Sky Blue and Novo finally getting the boot. So
yeah, you want to start? You can go for it. Do you want to start on that?
2 days before the season, come on. Which my guess is that it was in transition for a lot longer than 2 weeks, because that doesn't make sense. And I think the official word was resigned, not fired, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it had been in the books hey, you're out, but let's do a transition plan or something, because I don't believe that they would have waited that long to fire. I mean, it was about time, and I hope that it really helps move Sky Blue forward. And I hope that, they go to, resign. I hope that they go to realize that it's a full-time job and they need full-time people there, and it's not part-time. This is professional soccer, and it should be that way. So I hope it's a change. I hear, oh gosh, I can't remember her name, but the governor's wife, having more of a say and more involved. I'm hoping that means something. So Sky Blue fans deserve it. Cloud9 deserves it. So
can I just say real quick, I clearly missed somewhere along the line that Elise LaHue was the vice president of
temporary.
Well, no, she was something else. She was, I think, the vice president. She's temporarily acting like the general manager. But I honestly had missed completely that she was involved in the organization at all. Like when they said, "Oh, like current vice president will Elise LaHue will act as the general manager," I went, "Wait, what? When did that happen?" And I just missed it completely.
I even missed in the press release that she was involved before. Like that's news to me right now. So obviously, I pay attention.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I thought it did say that she was had been the vice president, but was also acting as the GM. I could be wrong. Those of you out there watching, if you know, if I am wrong on that, but either way, it's I think she's great. So it's nice to have somebody that has a ton of experience. Like she was involved in Chicago Red Stars for like so long, and plus had done like a soccer thing for like initiative for like young girls and things like that. So she's great. I'm glad that she's involved. And hopefully moving forward, things are better. They're not having a great start to the season yet. And their attendance at the first home game was not great. But hopefully I'm trying to stay optimistic for the Cloud9 folks. Hopefully it turns around a little bit for them.
I'm hoping maybe it all comes down to hopefully some of the changes they make for next season will be a different stadium. Anyone who's been to URCAC can tell you the field is fantastic, and I'm sure I've made this rant before, but I hated going there when I lived out there. I hated driving down. I hated parking there. And the public transit situation was non-existent.
Still is, yep.
Still non-existent. I hope that's a change they make, and I realize how hard it is to make that change. So I'm not necessarily upset it didn't happen this season, because there were obviously things that mattered a lot more. So,
Karen, any thoughts on the Sky Blue sitch at all?
Just one. Bye, Tony. That's it. Peace out. That's
okay.
It.
All right. So, sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out. You're in the same box as me. I forget to come to you sometimes. Go ahead, Jen. I'm going to be on the couch tonight, just so everyone knows. Fine.
On the flip side of Noah, can we put that Steve Baldwin for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Steve Baldwin. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Because already, like, the whole experience of the Washington Spirit has changed.
They're having a Pride Night, right?
It's their first ever Pride Night this season. Yes. They're having, like, so many theme nights, and just, they have a mascot now. Like, the whole atmosphere.
Are they having a Star Wars night on May the 4th?
Yeah.
Oh, clever.
Yes. So the whole experience has just completely changed Washington Spirit, and I attribute that a lot to Steve Baldwin and him stepping in and kind of really coming in with new, fresh ideas to get them rolling. The fan experience, the player experience, just everything. Steve Baldwin has had huge impact on that team already, so I'm really excited to see what happens coming up here.
On that note, we're gonna kind of just go through. I know we're like a week behind. I know we usually provide like a comment talking, but I think we're gonna try to scoot through the season so far as quickly as possible. Anyone's got anything they want to throw out there, go for it. Like I said, we're a week behind. I'm just gonna run through the results real quick, and then of free for all. Whoever wants to comment on anything, just flag me down and we'll go. So, opening weekend, Washington Spirit, better turnaround so far. Won against Sky Blue 2-0. Chicago Red Stars and North Carolina Courage 1-1. Portland Thorns beat Orlando Pride 2-2, and then the Dash and the Rain tied 1-1. And the Wednesday game was considered part of week 2, so I'll stop there. Any pressing thoughts from those first couple games, like first weekend of play? Anything that really stood out to anyone that they want to comment on?
I thought the games went pretty much how I expected them to go. I don't think I was surprised by any results for week 1, especially.
Mm-hmm. As far as I'll talk about the Rain because that's my team that I like.
Go for it.
That tie with Houston Dash was actually really fun for Houston Dash fans and less fun. Dang, less fun for Rain fans, I think. But there's a lot of really bad injury stuff that's going on for the Rain. A ridiculous number of players are out with injuries, and then we also had 2 players who were injured in that one game. And then Jasmine Spencer and her ACL. That's the shittiest thing ever. And then Rapinoe has been out, I think mostly precautionary, but probably because the World Cup is coming, which is fine, and I totally agree with what they're doing there. And then Bev Yanez had a concussion from one of the preseason games, and Oyster hurt her calf, but then she actually came back the next game. Jenkins was out in week 2 because of precautionary stuff. There's just like Catley hasn't played because of injury stuff. There's just so much injury stuff. But that being said, Houston Dash played really well.
Yeah, did you start to say? Sorry.
I can't remember if it was, because we're behind, I can't remember if it was that first week or this last week, but he's basically tripped on the ball and scored a goal, but that stood out.
I think that was the first week. I think that was the first week. She either got goal of the week or was player of the week or something like that.
Was that Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
First
was
week.
the first week when she tripped on the ball and scored. That was cool.
And then one thing I saw the questions in the chat, so we will come back to that. I guess the one thing I have to say is that there have been 3, but including preseason, I guess there have been 3 ACLs already this season of like people who were expected to make impacts on teams, and you know, it sucks. Who I guess it's a combination of people who you would expect to come in and you know, whether off the bench or starters, or you know, some of the new young talent that had just come in. Yikes, not great. And we seem to always have this issue, unfortunately, and I don't know what it is. I know injuries can happen in any sport, but like the ACLs already within like week 1 are just it's not great. So that's all I have to say. And good to see the Dash off to a good start, I guess. And someone asked about coaching, and I think so far that's made a difference. And we'll come back to that, but yeah, I mean, I think it was a pretty solid week. And we'll come back to that. Ban ACLs 2K forever. Oh, that's Danielle. I read that in the chat as bank knees too, because I'm just an idiot. So ban knees. I read it as bank knees because I'm not. But that's okay. In True from the Stands forum, someone's an idiot. It's usually me. So there's that. That is distracting me. Sorry. Again, as usual, we're a shit show. So okay, yeah. I guess for the start of the season, it wasn't anything like spectacular, but it wasn't like it was pretty solid. So we'll go with that. And then I'm gonna bag on a team a little bit in a minute, and it makes me sad to do so, but it's gotta happen because we're gonna start off with week 2 with the North Carolina Courage beating the Pride 5-0. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Chicago Red Stars and Portland Thorns had just like a I don't even know what to call it, but a barn burner, and they changed the name of Toyota Park to SeatGeek Stadium. I'm just seeing that on
What?
That's what it says on the NWL website for the venue of the Chicago Red Stars.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that, and I was like, SeatGeek Stadium. And then Houston Dash beat Sky Blue 1-0, and the Royals beat the Spirit 1-0. So that's your week 2 shenanigans.
There was a game on Sunday too.
There was a game. What?
On Sunday.
Oh, there was a game Monday. Sorry, and then the Rain and Pride tied. God, that's a Sunday. It was Easter. I don't think there was soccer on Easter, but obviously there was. Rain and Pride had a 1-1 draw and the Rain had their first game at their new location in Tacoma, which apparently seemed to go really well. So kudos. I'll kick it off to anyone who wants to say something, but real quick, I just want to say they did tie Seattle thanks to that wonderful Alana Kennedy bicycle kick goal, which was great. Number 7 on Top 10 Sports Center. But wow, the Pride, wow, and they have their international still. Wow, the Pride. And I just feel like sometimes some of their defense is half asleep, and like I don't really know, but we're not gonna get too analytical, but I just want to say womp womp womp. I hope that I don't know what's gonna happen when everyone leaves for the World Cup. I don't know. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? Or
I think Orlando's problem is way deeper than the team. It's just a lot of stuff, and I don't know how to solve it. And but I think that if you also look to the men's side and some of the issues they've had there, and compare and contrast, I think you'll see it's not the players. There's a lot more to the issues.
Interesting.
And I think that's fair, but I'm also like, people asked about what we thought about all the coaches, and I've heard really good things about Skinner so far, so I don't know like where, if it goes beyond him also. I obviously don't have any like inside knowledge about that, but it just seems weird. Like, you have talented players, you hear good things about a new coach coming in, and then it's just like, wow, this is like no bueno.
I think it's a lot deeper than just the team.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair, and we'll see how that plays out throughout the rest of the season, I guess. Anything else on any of the other games? I know Danielle, we're kind of like, we don't have a team, but I know Danielle, well, I think talking about the Spirit, Karen will probably talk about the Rain, but you and I are like, I have nothing. Is there anything you want to say about this last game?
Well, one is there's 2 games. One, I won't even talk about the game. The Lola Bonta goal was great. I love Lo. I've loved Lo a long time. She's one of my KC girls. And I mean, Press did the work Press did to get that goal.
Yeah, it was great.
Phenomenal. But so I know it was a low sack, but I love Lo. And then I think the game we have to talk about, and Guitar Skate Live actually asked about it, is that Chicago Portland game.
Yeah.
Wow.
That happened.
That was nuts.
It happened, yeah. I mean, I don't know what else we want to say about it, but yeah.
Sinclair, like, what? I mean, Chicago should have won that game, because I'm pretty sure when I looked at the stats, they had 20 shots and 10, but Christine Sinclair just was not having that. So,
you know what I want to say about that game, and she did well in the beginning, the first game too. Yuki Nagasato, like, wow, like, why isn't she playing? Is she not playing for Japan? Why is she not playing for Japan? Like, she's like been awesome in the first 2 games, especially the last game. I think she had a goal and a couple assists or something like that, but she's been awesome like this season. And I don't know, like, if she's had prior, I don't remember her being bad, or necessarily, I don't remember her being I guess, stand out either way last season. So maybe that's not why she's not on the radar internationally. But like, she's been great so far.
Oh yeah.
I think she's definitely gonna be a key player for Chicago.
And she's a fan favorite there too.
Yeah, when they're gonna be missing some people. I think that she's gonna just step up. She stepped up with all the people, with the Sam Kerr still being there and stuff like that, and the other internet. Like, she's just crushing it. So I mean, that's all I have to say about that game, is that she's definitely gonna be a person to watch. And that game in general was insane. I was like, wow, 20 minutes in and there's like 3 goals or whatever. Wow.
Yeah.
But she's gonna be someone to watch. I'm really excited to watch her the rest of the season.
She retired from the national team after Japan failed to qualify for Rio. Thank you, Star Killer.
Oh,
nice.
Well, that is why she's not playing. I guess to me it's a shame, I guess, because she could make a big difference, I feel like. But at least she went out. At least she's not playing because she chose not to, as opposed to they just for some reason don't have her on the radar. So that makes a lot of sense, I guess.
Can we talk about Sam Kerr's goal? And I'm about to lose some friends, but how maybe a certain defender should have retired like right after that.
That was ouch.
Yikes.
Yeah. Ooh, boy.
But I will say,
walk off the field after something like that. Just be like, all right, I'm out.
Both teams did some dumb stuff defensively, and that's why Portland got those 2 penalty kicks that added to Sinclair's hat trick, right? But yeah, that one was pretty bad. It wasn't just like a bad foul in the box. It was like, what are you doing there, Ems? What's going on? Yeah,
I'll come back to Washington and the Reign game. Danielle had mentioned, I think she plays for the Royals now. You had mentioned something. You had mentioned Lamont, and that was Utah, right?
She's in the Royals.
But speaking of, did Mandy Ladis? She plays for the Royals. Did she finally come back after like 3 years?
How did I not mention that?
I was like, Danielle, are you going to talk about that? Because she finally came back, and then you didn't. And I was like, well, I'm going to bring it up, and then if you want to talk about it, but like, she finally came back. That's awesome.
I broke out the Blue Crew account because of that. I was like, and logging in because I'm so excited. I'm so proud of her. And I mean, yeah, it was not even the last season of FCKC. Like, she's been out a long time. And I honestly think, and I don't think this is my fangirl hat, I honestly think that if she would have kept up that form she was in before her injury, she would have been looked at for the national team. She, young, she was good. She was, a cornerstone of the team. So that injury just sucked. And she fought it. And, Utah's not my team. I did not go over to them. I just can't. But I will say one thing I really love about Utah is they did not give up on her. And it wasn't even just, they wanted her out there. They involved her. She never put on, she never played for them, but she was active last season, doing stuff with them. So it is nice that Utah believed in her, worked hard to help her come back, because she's super talented, super nice, and I've missed her. So.
Oh yeah, I remember like breaking the thing. I think just talking about it like the last, even when we found out it was like early last season, and I was like, oh man, Laddish is out again for the whole season. Like, they knew very early on, and it was a bummer, but like, it's super good to see her back. And well, also, I know there's been some debate about this, about whether all this is paid attendance or not, or some tickets were comped, but according to like the statistics, there were something like 18,000 people butts in seats at the Utah game. So obviously some of those may be comped, whether they were or not. I think the fact that there was 18,000 tickets at some point, butts in something like that, I think is really good. I don't know, if that they'll sustain that, but the fact that for a first game that was good. And then I looked at Seattle, and I'll bop it over to Karen in a minute to talk about Seattle, but I think in their new stadium, something like 5,500 or something like that, and at the new stadium for their home opener, That's encouraging. Also, I think just to make a point, attendance except for Sky Blue, which hopefully will scoot. But I feel like the first week of season attendance has been pretty decent so far.
Yeah.
There's good numbers, and Portland doesn't have a home game for like another 3 weeks or something like that. So, when we know their attendance is usually pretty solid, so it's promising. And whether it's people are trying to get into the national team players before they go, hopefully attendance will be sustained during the World Cup. Also for once the players leave after this weekend, but good start so far. And on that note, I'll just kick it over, Karen, if you want to talk about Seattle a little bit, and then
yeah, sure, I could do that. Well, yeah, they're in transition because they have moved from Memorial Stadium in Seattle to Tacoma, which is about 45 minutes to an hour of a drive, I think, unless there's traffic. But Seattle did something really cool, or I should say the Rain. The Rain did something really cool. They have...
No, I keep calling them Seattle. I have to stop calling them Seattle.
I know.
The Rain.
Okay, but like even when you're watching the game in the corner, it still says Seattle, and everybody's like, "Hey, don't." But yeah, they hired like a charter bus type system, almost like a party bus, so that people can come from Seattle, get on the bus, go all the way down to Tacoma together, do all of that fun stuff in the parking lot, enjoy the game together, get back on the bus, go back to Seattle. So I thought that was really cool because, they didn't really have to do that, especially for like a women's team that doesn't have a lot of money. But the way that they're pulling those Seattle fans in still, even though it's like an hour away from where they live, I thought that was really cool. And everybody that I talked to that is a Seattle fan really liked the field and really liked, I guess, like the venue as a whole. So, I mean, it sounds like it's going really well for them. And it sounds like a lot of people from Tacoma came to the game, which is cool. So they have new fans and a lot of their old fans. And yeah, I think capacity is like 6,000 in this place. So, I mean, they almost hit capacity, and that's just on the first game. So that's really exciting. Yeah, I think that this was a really good move. I think that they're doing some really good things, and it's encouraging that they have more owners who are putting money into the team, and it looks like Tacoma is also promoting them like big time. So that's cool.
Because aren't they temporarily right now playing in a baseball stadium? And that's always not ideal. But from what I've heard from everyone, that even though it's not ideal, it seems to be, at least the first game, but logistically gone really well. And it seems like I heard a lot of really good things because they're a lot of the staff working the Rain games, or the Rainers staff, which is the baseball team, uses the field. And I've heard so far that the staff, while they wish they would be wearing rain gear, like soccer gear, which would make sense, but that they've been very helpful, that the staff's been really great with trying to get everything and making sure everything was like really quality for having soccer there. We know it's not ideal to do that, but and
then the field is grass instead of really bad turf, which is what it was at Memorial. So like that's good.
Karen, I wasn't able to watch because it was Easter, but I did read a couple of people say they didn't really notice the baseball lines after like the first few minutes. They kind of blended in. Did you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, there were a couple of lines that kind of like cut through the middle, but it was very obvious, like it was not like the middle circle or like the midline or anything like that. So it wasn't distracting. I know like sometimes in like when they remake a baseball field for soccer, you can see like other lines near like the sideline, and that's super confusing, but I didn't think it was super confusing at all.
Okay, cool. Unlike Yankee Stadium for Brosos.
Yeah, and actually, you know what? Like the streaming was pretty good. Like whoever was running the camera, like it was actually really good. It's probably one of the best ones of the weekend that I thought.
User Henry Darwin, are you? Which I don't think I've seen that name before. If you're joining us for the first time, Henry, thanks for checking us out. Maybe a couple. a couple new faces in here. Faces, not faces. A couple new names in here today, so that's cool. Said that the stadium, Cheney Stadium holds like 6,500 or something like that. So
Oh, cool.
thanks for that, and thanks for those of you who maybe haven't checked in before and are here watching. We appreciate it. Thank you. It's our first show back, maybe a little bit. I want to say we're just a little rusty, but this is pretty much just how we are all the time. So if you enjoy it, come back every week because it'll be kind of like this. Danielle's flagging me down. Go ahead.
We'll get there. I have faith.
We will. We're doing all right. Just real quick one, not real quick, take as much time as you want. Talk about the Spirit game. Anything you want to add to that? Resident Spirit fan here, that Spirit fan here.
I'm actually not going to talk.
Okay.
Because there's nothing really,
You want to talk about the coaching thing that was asked? So we're tie us into the coaching.
Yes, that we'll talk about. Because I think it was our killer maybe who asked about coaching situation there. So Richie Burke got hired as coach, and I feel
Hold this.
I'm gonna take over now because there's a cat eating something. And there's another one sitting on my lap. But anyway, we have 5. There are babies. So moving on. Richie Burke. I'm cautious. I'm very, very cautious. How did he get that?
This is our cat somehow got the sponge wrapper, in case anyone was wondering. Sorry.
At least he's clean. Anyway, so he obviously his coaching on the female side is limited. We'll say limited. But furthermore, there has been a little bit of controversy surrounding him. So he seems to have an okay attitude going in, but I mean, it's very obvious that coaching women is different than coaching men or boys. There are a lot of unique challenges that come with coaching in a female league. And I don't know necessarily that he has adequate experience to handle that. Aside from the personal controversy that he's also bringing in. So, really it's going to be up to what the players say on him. I always put a lot of stock in what they say because we can look at a scoreline, and even if the Spirit win every game, if the players don't like the coach, the players don't like the coach. And that means more to me than whether or not we're winning. So I think once we get through this season, I'll have a better outlook as to how I really feel about him. But right now, I'm very cautious.
Fair.
Yeah.
I'm putting my microphone where the microphone is. Anyone else have? I'm trying to think a little bit about Skinner. If anyone else has anything to add. You can't hear me either. Can you hear me now?
Kind of. You're muffled.
Oh, weird. Where is the microphone on this thing?
Wherever you put your hand.
Is this better now?
A little bit. Yeah, you're good.
Oh, we're gonna figure that out for next week.
We'll buy you a professional mic. This is gonna get legit.
No, we'll because I'm holding it. We'll get like a tray at like a TV tray and put the camera on it. Lots of TV tray.
Right.
I'm cuddling it basically. The other coach I want to talk about real quick. We can talk about Skinner more too. James Clarkson, Houston Dash. Clarkson? I think it's Clarkson. Yep, James Clarkson for the Dash.
No relation to
him. We don't think. I'm just kidding.
Texas, like everyone's related, like, right?
Right? I don't know. So far, so good. I think, I haven't heard much about what the players think about him, but I do think that just between like players returning, Christy Mewis returned. Another one who had long-term injuries. They got I don't think she's been back yet, but Ari Romero is back. they made moves. I think they made a lot of decent moves in the offseason, and they seem to be certainly doing well so far. Just, results and I think just cohesiveness in general. And they have a lot of injuries too. But yeah, I don't know. I think out of all the coaches, I have a lot of high hopes, I guess, for him and the Dash. Just because we know they've had a couple of really rough seasons, and so I think that they're getting off to a decent start, and it seems to be more team cohesion with between the coach and the players, as opposed to the players kind of just banding together and maybe agreeing or not agreeing with the coach, or whatever maybe have happened in the past. So I have a lot of high hopes in that regard. Same thing, like Skinner, I hear he's a really good coach. Players seem to like him, and but
it's so
is
early.
there too much? It's so early, and is there too much other stuff going on with Orlando even to make a difference there? We'll see. Those are just my opinions. Jen bopped in here real serious, like she's got something really important to say. Oh my God, she looked it up. Great. Anyone else have anything to say about any of the coaching since it was asked?
Not coaching, no.
Karen's got a hand. Go for it.
He's not a new coach, but I just wanted to give Andonovsky some props because he put Bethany Balls on the squad, and that is incredible because first of all, she's not some college player that he pulled out of the draft. She was an AIA player. And she's the first one who's signed a professional contract with any NWSL team. So the fact that he took that kind of a chance and he brought her onto the team, and then she scored her first goal in her first, I think that was her first start. I mean, that was a really big deal. And the fact that he did that, I think, speaks a lot to what he does in the off season and just how big of a geek he is, and he's a big old
he loves it.
Talent geek. The fact that he was able to find her almost out of nowhere is really impressive, and I hope that other coaches kind of follow his lead and start pulling players like that, because that was really cool.
I told you, he's good. And, if you look at the Utah roster, there's still players that he found while he was in KC that you're like, who is this person? He got them to KC, started them, and then they're still playing and still producing. He just knows how to find people. And like you said, he's just a geek. He knows this is his passion.
Yeah.
I could talk about him all day.
He's lovely.
All right. So I'm just gonna, we had talked previously before we started. We're gonna try to keep these a little shorter this year. Obviously, we're a little longer this season because we're 2 weeks behind. We haven't been here for a while. We're getting out all the kinks. Just before we go, last thoughts about anything you want to talk about. Danielle said not about coaching, but I'm assuming that means you want to talk about something else.
Oh, I can't. Oh, I was just gonna say that. Make some sort of joke. It's not natural now, but there's 2 employees that work for the NWSL now. I think they have 2 people, so that's fun. What was it the week before? 4 employees were "This is my last day." So that was Meg and all that.
I didn't know there was trying to be a joke there. Oh, hi, Chewbacca. I didn't. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I thought I didn't realize it was.
No, I realized how dumb it was, and it wasn't great. So.
Well, all right. No worries. Karen, any last thoughts about the first couple of weeks of the season?
No, it's just 2 weeks, so hopefully teams kind of get their footing and we see more over the next couple of weeks.
And soon it will be all national team all the time talking about.
Jen pointed, did you want to talk? Someone asked in the chat about Sophie Schmidt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
and Jen went, oh, I want to talk about her. So So they said, oh, they thought she did really well. And Jen lit up like a Christmas tree, so we can't hear it.
Sorry.
Here we go. Oh, I gotcha.
She's my favorite Canadian. I'm sorry, Dina, but I
Danielle's saying she still can't hear
love
us.
Spit.
This is sad.
Her hands are like this.
Oh, it's because your hands are over your face this time.
I'm
It's
really
not
excited.
It's not my phone this time. It's your. Jen's really excited about Sophie Schmidt. Yay!
I am. I'm super pumped. I love seeing her back. I'm so excited to see what she can do, how her time overseas kind of changed her. My nose was itchy. How her time overseas kind of changed her as a player a little bit. So I cannot wait to see what she does. I adore her.
All right. Anyone have anything else? I just will say, this upcoming weekend is the send off by national team player weekend. A whole 3 weeks in, yay! So that'll be great, I guess. Yeah, we're gonna be, try to do this every week. Times and days may change. Just be aware because we're a weirdly scheduled bunch of folk. Maybe direction. Direction. I know. I'm gonna put it. I'm gonna put it somewhere. We'll be better with the videographer. I have it in my hand. Okay, we were ill prepared for this. We'll have a stand next week. We'll have a TV table next week. Yeah. So just thanks for tuning in, everyone. Please follow our Twitter. We'll tell you in advance when we're gonna be on again. I'm gonna try to do this every week. Like I said, dates and times may change. People may change. It'll be some combination of all of us. And maybe Danica. Shout out to Danica, by the way. If you saw that there was maybe a new thumbnail when you clicked and were waiting for the show to start, and at the end, you'll probably see it again too. She has made some really nice episode graphics for us to put as little thumbnails for the show. And we're really excited about that. And we're hoping, I know her schedule changed. She wasn't able to be on really at all last year, but hopefully she'll be able to join us a little more this year. But we'll be here. We'll be talking NWSL. We'll be talking a lot of women's national team and World Cup, as that is obviously happening in just a few short weeks. Guitar Skate Live, insert "You're doing great, honey" meme. Thanks, great, appreciate the support, everybody. So on that note, we will wrap up today's episode. Again, there's so many of you that are repeat viewers and a couple of new people. We super appreciate you checking in.
Yeah.
I was like, boy, we haven't done a show since August. If you kind of remember who we are and what we do. Thanks for coming back. We love it. And check out our Twitter, and we will let you know when we will be on the show again. Don't put your hand
And the
over your
Facebook.
face. And the Facebook. So we will wave as we do, and say hopefully we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
And